And we'll keep coming across to you. I just want to inform our viewers that we're putting out live images now from the National War Memorial. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is standing by to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Remember that the Prime Minister is going to be there for about 15-20 minutes when you will have an event commemorating the heroes of the 1971 war, the significant victory that India established over Pakistan. And there you have Prime Minister Narendra Modi making his way out of the car. He will be walking into the National War Memorial as part of the ceremony to mark 50 years since the 1970 war. It was on this day 50 years ago that you had the instrument of surrender being signed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi there will in fact be merging 4 flames that he had in fact lit last year, which has travelled across the country. He'll be merging them with the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. A significant fitting tribute, Gaurav, to mark 50 years since the war.
Glorious victory where the entire nation came together. And this is the message when these 4 flames that went north, south, east, west, across battle zones, across states, to homes of our braves. And now these 4 flames are back. The Prime Minister, he sent off these 4 flames. Now those 4 flames will be merged at this National War Memorial. And this is a National War Memorial, as the 3 veterans will tell us. Our armed forces have wanted this for decades and decades. It's finally come up as a befitting tribute. Every soldier who's made a supreme sacrifice for our nation since 15th of August 1947, when India got independence till date. All the names are here at this National War Memorial, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi now leads the nation in paying respects to our fallen braves.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi early this morning also in fact put out a tweet hailing the heroes of the 1971 war. He said, "I recall the great valor and sacrifice of the Mukti Jodhas, of the Biranganas, and also the brave hearts of the Indian Armed Forces," something that Gaurav and all of our guests on this broadcast have also been touching upon. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that together we fought and defeated oppressive forces. Rashtrapati Ji's presence in Dhaka is of special significance to every Indian. Very important point there, because President Kovind is in Dhaka. He received a 21-gun salute in Bangladesh, and that really shows you also what this victory, what this day means for Bangladesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi making his way up there to the National War Memorial. He will be laying a wreath there to honour all of the heroes who laid down their lives fighting for the nation in the 1971 war. Let's cut across live to that full moment there. The Prime Minister laying down the wreath, paying his tribute.
हमारे शहीद वीर सैनिकों को प्रधानमंत्री की भावभीनी श्रद्धांजलि।
So Prime Minister Narendra Modi there, as we mentioned, the four flames that has spread across the country, that have travelled across the country to commemorate the 1971 war heroes. From that, the Prime Minister has merged the flames into the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. I just want to take this across briefly to General Hasnain as well. General Hasnain, for our viewers, if you can explain to us the significance of the ceremony that we just witnessed here.
There's no doubt that this fantastic victory of 50 years ago evoked the greatest feelings of patriotism within every single Indian citizen. And there's no doubt that this is felt across the length and breadth of India. The ceremony that you have just witnessed is obviously a symbolism of the spirit of the four corners of India. This flame being brought, the passion and the spirit of the people from those four corners of India, covering the length and breadth of India, being brought to the capital city here, to this new war memorial where the eternal flame burns. And it is here that these four flames have been brought and merged with the eternal flame, actually symbolizing in a symbolic way, actually expressing the merger of the sentiments from all parts of India regarding the great valor, the great sacrifice which went into this, achieving this great victory. For me, symbolically, I consider four things as far as these four flames are concerned. I consider sacrifice, valor, dignity, and national spirit. Four things which these four flames actually signify: sacrifice, valor, dignity, and national spirit. These have all got together, merged into the eternal flame to burn there forever.
So beautifully put, General Hasnain, and I'm sure the nation echoes that sentiment. In that moment of silence at the National War Memorial, we as a nation also stood to honor all of the heroes who ensured this significant victory in 1971. Right now, you see there Prime Minister Narendra Modi also penning a note, a personal note there at the National War Memorial. And it is going to be a note, of course, honoring the braves of the 1971 war 50 years on. Yes, Gaurav, you wanted to make a point as well.
No, look at how the Prime Minister and the country keeps up with technology. Usually you have a visitor's book there. Now you have an electronic book and there's an electronic signature from the Prime Minister. 50th year of liberation of Bangladesh and Pakistan's biggest defeat. There's also a memento that Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh is presenting to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There's a commemorative stamp and a coin that have been released today. So this is extremely, extremely significant. It would have been much bigger, had we sadly not lost General Bipin Rawat, Chief of Defence Staff, and our braves, Mrs. Rawat and our braves in that unfortunate helicopter crash. But Air Marshal Bhatia, future wars will not give us 9 months to prepare. Future wars will be now and perhaps immediate. That is why the army is also moving to the integrated battle group concept.
Yes, absolutely. But just remember, Gaurav, that as far as the armed forces are concerned, they are forever ready to go into battle. That is their mandate, and they are expected to do it, and they do it too. And this is a question that is always there uppermost in our minds. Yes, the future wars are going to be something different, and we always have to be prepared for it, be it from the cyber side, the space side, or actually what is happening on the ground, on the seas, on the oceans, and also in the air. So it is going to be that kind of a war that we're going to fight. And it has to be a synergistic war, the kind of synergisty that we produced in 1971 war. And we can do it again. And I'm sure that we are really committed to be ready all the time for any eventuality that can threaten the national security as far as we are concerned.
Air Marshal Bhatia, what stands out for most of us when we talk about the 1971 war is the aspect of 13 days, for a war to end in 13 days. What really did it take, Air Marshal Bhatia, for this particular war to be completed, for Pakistan to surrender in a span of less than 2 weeks?
Yes, as I mentioned to you, in the East, basically our objective, or the Indian objective, was to create the kind of situation in East Pakistan so that the government of Mujibur Rahman could be established there and the refugees could go back to their country. But as I mentioned earlier, it was the air supremacy which was achieved in the East within the first 2 days that actually helped us create that land forces blitzkrieg into Dhaka. And what really helped doing that was the very imaginative crossing of Meghna and Surma rivers to bring the Sagat Singh's forces into the Dhaka Bowl, as also the airdrop which was carried out at Tangale. And once that happened, actually Dhaka got surrounded. And that is the reason, I would say, which actually made fall of Dhaka to happen within less than 2 weeks after the start of the war.
Gaurav, I also want to touch upon the point of political leadership here and how that too played such a crucial role in the 1971 war. Credit must be given to Indira Gandhi also for decisiveness, for also perhaps playing a crucial role. It matters a whole lot that, the military is fully backed in these kind of circumstances. And that's something that we saw in 1971.
Oh, absolutely. And that is why Indira Gandhi, late Indira Gandhi, was called the Iron Lady of India. The fact that she planned along with the armed forces, intelligence agencies, our diplomats. This was the whole of India approach in terms of her travel to the Soviet Union, her telling the entire world why India had to do this. I mean, look at her interview where she's talking about millions of refugees from then East Pakistan coming into India, the economic costs that it was imposing on India, the agreement with Soviet Union that ensured that the American fleet and China could not come to Pakistan's aid. Remember, both China and America were openly siding with Pakistan, were extremely hostile to India, and yet we won. And that is because of this whole of the nation approach. Our diplomats did an outstanding job. Our armed forces, Sam Manekshaw and Admiral Sinha can tell us about the equation between our forces and the political leadership of the day. Admiral Sinha.
Thank you, Gaurav. I think you have summed it up very well. The equation between the Field Marshal, later Field Marshal General Manekshaw at that time, and the Prime Minister was absolutely 1-to-1. And she was kept informed of everything that was happening, everything that was progressing on the front. And amongst the three service chiefs, they were talking to each other. They were, planning together so that the surprise element is not lost. What we tend to forget, Gaurav, that we seize the initiative. Otherwise, on day one, such a huge attack on Karachi by the Navy and the Air Force, and on the same day, the bombing of Chittagong and the Khulna ports on a day or two later. I think this shows the coordination amongst the three chiefs and the planning staff and working staff, because they had to be coordinated in a manner that it becomes a little comfortable for the land forces to go and have least of the opposition. As Marshal Bhatia said, the air superiority had been achieved completely in the Eastern Front, and therefore there was no question of are we getting sort of battered. So that is the coordination. One was because of the coordination equation. It was firstly the initiative that they took because of the long planning, and secondly, each movement, each attack, each attack was sort of coordinated in a manner that the impact, bring to bear the maximum pressure on the enemy on both sides, so that they don't get away.
Okay.
And at the end of it, the blockade of all the ports in East Pakistan, which made sure that the General Niazi had no place to run away.
General Niazi had nowhere to run, he had nowhere to hide, and despite his bravado, I mean, imagine you had some American journalists of that time writing that when Niazi's tanks will roll, India will run away. I mean, this was the kind of propaganda that some American journalists ran against India at the start of the war, and 13 days later, General Niazi had surrendered and he had tears in his eyes. He had to be rescued by the Indian army. But General Hasnain, we returned 93,000 Pakistani prisoners of war. We could not get back 54 of our own, and we could not address or settle the Kashmir issue. Where, and this is a question that's been lingering for 50 years.
Gaurav, there is always conflict initiation, progression, and then termination. We were brilliant at initiation. We were brilliant in progression. Somehow we floundered at the termination stage. It happens with many countries, with many armies, armed forces around the world. We delivered the victory. But finally on the conference table, when it came to the Shimla agreement, yes, we did lose out a lot. It was not like Tashkent. In Tashkent, we had an exchange of territories, etc. Okay, we gave back Haji Pir. A lot of people do criticize the government for having given back Haji Pir. We did not have an option at that time because of the Pakistani presence in Akhnur.
Yes.
But in 1971, the Pakistanis were hardly holding any territory. And yes, we should have perhaps done much more. Perhaps the contribution and advice of the armed forces at that particular stage was not taken sufficiently. We could always debate this till the cows come home. But the issue is, I think if Field Marshal was more intimately involved in the conflict termination stages, and his advice was taken, the advice of the armed forces was taken, perhaps things could have been done a little differently, particularly on Kashmir. And particularly in this very vexing, emotive issue of the return of those 54 prisoners who never came back to us.
I think what's very clear from what you told us, General Hasnain, is that there are lessons also to be learnt from what happened 50 years ago. But it's time for me to wrap up this broadcast. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us on this broadcast and sharing your enlightening views and experiences and memories of the 1971 war. 50 years to this day, we will continue to remember the heroes of the 1971 war who ensured that huge significant win for us. As I wrap up this broadcast, just a quick word that our prayers also are with Group Captain Varun Singh's family. His mortal remains are being flown back to Bhopal to his family today. There will be a wreath-laying ceremony shortly, and as we get you the live updates also of the tributes to the 1971 war, we're also getting you the tributes that are pouring in for this fallen hero.